Hello and welcome to Whisky Sisters podcast. I am Inka.
And I am Jennifer Rose.
Together we will bring you a monthly whiskey podcast where we will be discovering drams, exploring distilleries, and talking to industry experts and catching up with our whiskey pals.
We will be sharing exciting whiskey adventures, sticking our noses into some whiskey news, keeping our drams on fire, of course, and cutting through any industry bullshit. So, buckle up and enjoy the ride.
Welcome to the Whisky Sisters podcast with Inka and Jen.
Hello, whiskey sippers. It is us again, Inka and Jen.
Hi, thank you for joining us again this month. I can't believe month's gone so fast again. Honestly.
I think the summer months go by so quickly, and it's somewhat cruel because summer is my favourite season.
I know, it's really freaking me out. This month we are finally sampling some of this year's festival releases from Ardbeg, Mac-Talla and Glen Scotia.
Ooh, barely than never, baby.
Yes, and I checked all these bottles are still available to purchase, so we aren't too late, really. Before we get started on whiskey news, just tell us a little bit about your rock tour, because you've been here, there, and everywhere seeing like 100 bands.
I am a lucky whiskey bitch, honestly. I was super lucky enough to have tickets for the Back to the Beginning day, like extravaganza in rock and metal history. That was, for those of you that don't know, Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath, like their kind of final farewell back in Birmingham where they came from. And the whole day was like crazy amounts of bands, Pantera, Slayer, Metallica, just so many bands. It was unbelievable. And then Ozzy Osbourne came out and sung 4 songs. And then all the OG members of Black Sabbath, for you rockers out there, Geezer Butler, Bill Ward, Tony Iommi. And it was so moving. I was like all excited, like party all day. But see, when they came out and started playing, I just sobbed like a baby. I was like,
oh my God, you know what? I was like, on the day that you were there, I went for a run and I was listening Aussie and I was like trying to be in like I was in the spirit. But then when I was watching the videos back on like socials, oh my God, honestly, I was getting goosebumps and like I was almost in tears as well. And like it was just so moving. And everyone doing the covers and
I know, everyone doing the covers and Ozzy there, like so full of spirit, like his wee black nail polish and his big chair with a bat. Oh, I got new ink too. I got a bat-winged heart with little horns in honor of the day because it was so momentous. It was like a pilgrimage. It was a biblical epic, heart-opening like extravaganza, and I think I literally had the best day of my life. The next day I went to see Iron Maiden, which was really good, but I was still basking in the whole like Ozzy Sabbath.
Yeah, I can't believe the Iron Maiden was the next day as well. You've been like flying around just to get to these.
I know, pretending I'm not a kind of boring average soul, just jetting around seeing these bands. I'm so sorry for being such a music bore, but it was just amazing.
No, it was so good. I can see why. I'm hoping that I can actually watch it back, or they do like a playlist or something. Because even like Steven Tyler was really good, although he was so skinny. It was giving me heebie-jeebies.
I know. He needs a wee snack, doesn't he? He's very slender because he's just been dancing his whole life. And that part of Led Zepp's Whole Lot of Love by Steven Tyler, amazing.
Yeah, that's the one I saw as well.
Although, let's talk about it, because I know since we've last been on air, you've seen Guns N' Roses, and Guns N' Roses were also at the Back to the Beginning day. And although our whiskey love affair began over our whiskey and love of like rock, and we love Guns N' Roses, blah, blah, blah. Oh, but I fully agree with you. My heart was like not wobbling in the same ways it did for like Ozzy, but it was cringing in like emotional pain, and because Axl's vocal was shit.
I know, like I saw the whole concert and it was a lot more about the music and the instruments. And like he couldn't, like he would sing all the main bits of the song, but then like didn't really, like there was not much singing. But like I still had amazing time and it was great. But if they would still tour, I probably wouldn't go and like rush to see them again, because it's
Same.
really, I found it really sad. It's like someone
Yeah,
just should say to him like, okay, just stop.
I
And like
know.
maybe like, in 20 years, just do like a one last,
Yeah, roll
save
yourself
your
out
voice
again.
for 20 years and then like do the last one. But you know what I mean? It was just
Yeah,
fun.
I felt slightly anxious and I wanted to
Mm,
send him Reiki.
yeah. Yeah. Cup of tea with honey and some Reiki.
Yeah, that's it.
Uh,
Ozzy
but
can
also,
actually borrow your chair. He needs to rest his
yeah,
voice.
super excited that we have also bought the tickets for Metallica for next summer, already planning ahead.
I know because when we
Like, so
saw
good we
them
can finally go together again. Yay.
exactly, exactly, because they hadn't released their album 72 Seasons when we saw them before, so that's gonna be so good. Oh, and I may have snuck some whiskey minis into the gig because it was only Jack Daniel's, like, pre-mixed with full sugar Coke, and that's not
Mm.
really a vibe for me, although I did get some of them. But I did sneak in some cheeky old school Bells, which was back to the beginning of my whiskey journey, and I thought, "This'll maybe be a bit nasty." It was actually delicious, and I couldn't help. I was rolling out the puns when Metallica come on, "For whom the bells toll." That was good.
Love it.
When you saw Guns N' Roses, what was the whiskey situation
Yeah,
like at the bar?
they had Four Roses and Coke, but obviously, yeah.
Pre-mixed, or could you have it separate?
No, I think they did it pre-mixed because they also had like a Paloma. So, but that was kind of pre-mixed thing as well. So I kept drinking those because I thought like tequila kind of gives me the dance
Yeah.
moves.
Yeah, I hate a lot of these pre-mixed things I don't really like because I just find them very syrupy.
Yeah, I know. But like it wasn't in a can, but I think they had like a machine or they just had
Yes,
mixed them. But yeah, but I was still happy to see some whiskey available for
for
sure because we've
sure.
been moaning about it for years.
Yes, moaning. Yeah, we're always moaning about something.
Stick your nose in it.
So, a couple of news things. I just actually wanted to start by saying that Glasgow Distillery is finally starting to do tours. So, anyone in Glasgow
Whoa,
interested to visit this amazing distillery, now is your chance. Go and book. I don't know how
amazing.
many. Is it like always or what? But like,
Yeah.
it's
It's
take the chance.
urban funk. We love Glasgow Distillery, as you know, and that's so cool that people are having the opportunity to get behind the scenes.
So, okay, let's chat about a few things that's happened recently in the whiskey world. This could be like stick your nose in it / whiskey bullshit.
Yeah.
um,
The two are merging.
yeah. So several brands are currently fueling the scenes with F1 sponsorships. My little
Vroom.
pun there. Um, so Glenfiddich signed with Aston Martin last year and has like a multi-year deal with them. Coach Build works with Williams Racing. Jack Daniels sponsors McLaren. Again, like all these are pretty much multi-year deals. Chivas Regal is sponsoring Ferrari. Glen Morangi has recently announced a 10-year partnership with F1 itself. And
Oh.
yeah, and obviously Johnny Walker has been heavily involved with F1 for years. Bowmore had a thing with Aston Martin as well, and I think the last release was April this year.
Mm.
And now Glenfiddich's kind of taken over. But these partnerships often go beyond logos. They include exclusive bottle releases, like fan experiences, and even appearances from like famous people like Harrison Ford for Glenmorangie and stuff. So,
Mm.
what are your thoughts on this in general?
I think I'm kind of like I've got mixed views on it. Like part of me thinks F1 it's super glam, massively luxurious, and like it's a massive multi-million pound dollar sort of sport, isn't it? And so it seems like that it makes sense to go hand in hand with whiskey brands that want to access luxury markets and, have the prestige and the links
Yeah,
with these brands. And I always think I used to like F1 in the 90s and it was all like the cigarette company branding, Benson and Hedges. So it kind of makes me like think of that nostalgically. But the other part of me, I think, if it is, all like if it's potentially all about those like super high end experiences, part of me just thinks, that's a bit wanky.
yeah, exactly. I feel like then they use influencers who don't even drink whiskey or aren't even necessarily that interested, and it's kind of showy offy.
Yes,
Um,
way offy. Mm-hmm.
like it can help reach new markets, but yeah, I think like you said, a lot of it is heavily aimed at like luxury markets, which
Mm-hmm.
is obviously not great for your average Joe.
Mm-hmm.
And like a good example is Glenfiddich, how they launched the sponsorship with Aston Martin. They released a 65-year-old bottle.
Wow.
So like, how's that gonna help anyone?
That being said, Inka, if any companies would like to reach out and offer us some form of hospitality package involved with whiskey and F1, I'm there for that.
Yeah, well, we actually are like interested to promote. We'll actually like the whiskey. And I
Yeah.
quite like F1 as well. Like, I think the Netflix TV show really helped because I used to watch it much more when I was in Finland. I think it's quite big
Yes.
there. But like, yeah, I watched all that Netflix show. It was really interesting. Got really
My
into it.
my era is like Mika Hakkinen and
Yeah,
Jack Villeneuve and whatever. I'm a little bit
yeah.
out of date.
What was his the Iceman, Mika Häkkinen? Oh, Kimi Räikkönen was the Iceman,
Oh
wasn't it? Yeah,
yes, yeah, for
Finnish
sure.
people with few words. Um, but I think with the Netflix show, it's helped to kind of get younger audiences as well. And I
Sure.
do think there's quite a lot of women watching F1 as well. So I guess in a way, they would be reaching both men and women because I think some people are a bit annoyed about all this thinking they don't reach female audience through F1.
Yes.
But I actually think there's a lot of
think
women.
I think there are a lot of women that like F1. Hey, did you see that Jerry Halliwell's husband, Christian Horner, has got the sack?
Oh, good. He's so annoying.
He's
He
up the
was
road.
so he
Cheerio.
was working for Red Bull, wasn't it?
Mm.
Yeah. No, he was getting a bit. I feel like throughout the show, he was getting even cockier and cockier, like he's the dog's bollocks.
Well, somebody said that's plenty up the road.
Yeah, that's good. Also, yeah, like, do you think it's modernizing the image for, you know, whiskey?
Whiskey.
Yeah, because now younger people are also interested in F1 and stuff.
I think maybe, but I'm not too sure. I think young people I'm hearing nowadays, Generation Z, are like having like music events with like healthy smoothies at the sauna. So I
I
don't know if
know.
they're that arsed, but I think they're the whole like luxury high end
Yeah.
influencer, like maybe in that
Yeah,
sector
I
for
know
younger
lots of young
people.
people are all like, "Oh, designer this and designer that." When
Yeah.
I was just like wearing secondhand clothes from my
I
cousin,
know.
male cousin.
I had like 3 rock t-shirts, a big baggy tee, and like one big pair of army boots as a teenager.
I know, me too. Anyway, so yeah, it's all good if we can reach a bit more, you
Sure.
know, yeah, not just luxury, please.
No.
Whisky Sisters. Whiskey bullshit.
So, okay, another one which is very sad. Do you remember the French distillery Maison Linetti that I went to see last
You spoke
September, I think it was?
very fondly and very highly of your visit there.
Yes, and it's such a great distillery. They're basically trying to bring winemaking into whiskey making, and it's very
Mhm.
technical and specific, like super nerdy, and it was yeah, very interesting. But sad news, the main shareholder, a wine merchant and producer, ended their financial support. And they basically said because the instability in the wine market and they need to focus on their wines rather than the
Oh,
distillery.
boo hiss.
Yeah, so now the distillery doesn't have any funding source and they went into liquidation on the 7th of this month and they haven't produced any more spirit this year. So they desperately looking for new investors.
Well, maybe some people in this high-end luxury market that we've just been chatting about can swoop in with their big chunky ass wallet and save the day.
I know you would think that like in France as well, there are big
So many
companies.
yeah. Eh, I know that it wasn't the same setup, but I'm just thinking it makes me think a little bit of Waterford and their technical expertise and innovative like whiskey making practices and what happened there. Do we
Yeah,
think?
but I think they just did they basically produced way too much liquid.
I
And
see.
these
Okay.
guys haven't really, they only just started
Yeah.
2020. So
So
I
they're
don't
not
think
even
it's,
really out the starting blocks yet, really.
yeah. So loads of industry people like the likes of Dave Broom and Dawn Davies have been trying to rally to find or help them to find a new investor. And there's been loads of articles popping up everywhere. But the founders have 3 months to sell the company's assets or find new investor to relaunch the distillery. And I think they might be doing some crowdfunding as well. But yeah, if no buyer steps in, they may have to shut down before the first whiskey ever hit the shelves. And it's totally heartbreaking loss for whiskey drinkers everywhere, I think.
Well, good luck to Maison Linetti. That does sound a bit scary to be so like on such thin ice.
I know, and they just hosted the World Whiskey Forum as well, which is, just, yeah, terrible that then this comes after that.
Yeah.
But there's still hope. So I'll just, yeah, let's put some good words into the universe for them.
Into the universe, we'll pray to those whiskey gods.
Dram on fire.
Okay, today we are sampling 3 peated whiskies, 1 from Campbelltown and 2 from Islay, and they are all completely different. And we're going to start with Glen Scotia. And many of you will know that there was a time when Campbelltown boasted over 30 distilleries. Due to success in whisky making, Campbelltown was believed to be the richest town per capita in Britain then. And today, the odd sign can be found here and there as a reminder of the past. But currently, Campbelltown is the home of 3 distilleries with a 4th starting production this year. Those of you might remember a previous episode when Inka and I spoke about our epic visit there a few years back. So Glen Scotia first opened in 1832 under the name Scotia. The distillery changed ownership, it's changed several times along the way, and Glen was added to the name. And today the distillery is owned by the Loch Lomond Group. So loads of history at the distillery. Much of its original design is still there, such as the mash tun, the still room, and the amazing dunnage warehouse.
Yeah, if you ever happen to go there, we definitely recommend the Dunwich Warehouse experience, which we did together that time a couple of years ago. Loads of tasty whiskey maturing in those casks. So it's a great opportunity to basically sample some outstanding whiskies and see what's coming from the distillery.
Totally.
But yeah, in celebration of this year's Campbelltown Malts Festival, they released a heavily peated 9-year-old with a 5-month finish in the finest Ribera del Duero red wine casks, which sounds Portuguese to me. Do you think?
Oh, yeah, it does actually. I'm not sure.
I know. That's why I was wondering, is it Spanish or is it Portuguese? But I think it might be Portuguese. I don't know. It just sounds more Portuguese. Yeah. I don't know. Basically, I don't know. So Glen Scotia only distill peated spirit for 6 weeks a year. So not very often. So this is extra special and bottled at 54.3% ABV. So tastings, how was the nose for you?
First of all, I thought it was kind of like a golden peachy colour.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It has got a wee
Nice.
tinge, hasn't it?
Mm.
On the nose, it's calmed down a bit now, I have to say, but really strong aroma of rose flowers. And
Oh.
again, it's settled down now and it's a bit more natural sweetness, but I found it very like artificial sweetness on the nose at first. So I've got candy floss, but then a kind of deep plum jam, the sweetness of brioche bread being baked, kind of apples and apple pie. Lots of red fruits like ripe plum and blackberries and things on the nose. What about you?
Yeah, I was getting first a little bit like creamy porridge vibe,
Oh, mm-hmm.
Slightly kind of yeasty funk,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of saltiness and coastal notes. Loads cloudberry, like the cloudberry for me was
Oh,
so strong, and it's really hard to describe what it smells like if you haven't tried cloudberries. I don't know if
yeah.
you have tried cloudberries, but they're quite particular. Um, Hint of lemon, strawberry jam on toast. little bit of dark chocolate and wine gums. So that artificial stuff that you're thinking,
Mm,
kind of, wine. Some of the wine gums kind of smell what they taste, but like
yes.
smell.
And
It's
they can
kind of
smell kind of like gummy rubbery.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, good call.
Okay.
I
Did
find
you?
it tiny bit of like now I'm back and it's had quite a bit of time to air. I find it a little bit like, kind of charred embers in the distance on the nose.
Yeah, it's funny. I didn't get so much of the smoke on the nose at all. Like,
Yeah, I didn't get any at first, but just a tiny wee hint now.
yeah, more on the palate. I felt like the palate was quite robust.
Well,
Like,
I'm interested to hear what you got in the palate. Wasn't really what I expected.
yeah, lots of lingering peat. I was
Mhm.
getting black currants, strawberry, burning wood, kind
Mhm.
of
Mhm.
somewhere. It's really juicy, but still also very peaty.
Yes.
Then there was some saltiness. Then
Mhm.
at one point, I was getting something like towards the end, like almost minty or chewing gum or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, there is something menthol about it.
Yeah. And like, how did you find the palette?
I found it quite like not nippy spicy, but definitely I'm like, oh, is that ginger or pepper spice? Kind of like sharp notes. But again, that kind of very charred wood peatiness. Not overpoweringly so, but I was like kind of getting lemon zest. I don't know if you ever cook with lemon and you kind of half it and then you put it in like the frying pan and it's all kind of
Yeah.
like charred and I was getting
Mm.
that. Then I maybe got a wee bit of creamy, like maybe Angel Delight chocolate mousse. But I wasn't really getting fruity flavours on the palate at all. And I was finding
Oh,
it a bit
really?
more acerbic. Is that the word? A bit more nippy.
Yeah, it's quite funny because you hardly get any peat on the nose, and then it's like peaty on the
Yes.
palate. It is, I think robust is a good word. It's quite,
Mm-hmm.
but like it's funny you're not getting so many. Like I felt it was very juicy and berry-like, but with just a lot of that wood burny smokiness. And on the finish, like I feel like the smokiness just stays. There's
Stays and
some
stays and stays. Yes.
yeah, there's some licorice, and then like on the finish, I was getting salty buttery popcorn. Oh my God. Yeah, like the last taste in my mouth was salty buttery popcorn.
At a blind tasting, would you have known this was Glen Scotia?
Uh, Probably not.
I agree. I don't think I would have spotted it as a Glen Scotia.
No, maybe on the nose a little bit. There was a bit that funkiness, but definitely not from the palate.
Mm, interesting.
Yeah, as lots of people like I enjoyed it, but I just like hoped a little bit more.
Yeah, I think it's nice, but it's not ringing my bell.
Yeah. I feel like when I was sitting, because I did a little tasting video thing for socials a while ago, and lots of people liked it much more than I did. So maybe it's just,
Interesting.
yeah, I don't know. I'm a huge fan of the distillery as well. So maybe I had too high hopes.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay, so Islay, it's such a special whiskey island that it gets its own whiskey region altogether, rather than being linked to the other islands. So this whiskey coming from Islay is considered to have the strongest flavor profile. Most Islay whiskies are very, very smoky, often described as having medicinal, earthy, and maritime flavors, and some can be a bit of for the acquired taste. But I think Ardbeg is kind of probably like it can be a bit medicinal, but I find it a bit more sweeter side. Like it's the gentlest of the, it's not like Lafroig or
It's not punching you in the face.
yeah, I like it. Like it's heavily peated, obviously, but there's a lot going on.
And the distillery is big on experimenting with various casks and production methods. Listen back to episode 51, where we covered loads more details about the distillery and we sampled some of the core releases that went down really well. This year's Ardbeg Day release celebrated 25 years of the Ardbeg Committee, and the whisky has gone through a high gravity experiment, meaning less water and more grain was used during the mashing, which creates a dense wort and fruitier spirit. Crushing and compressing every drop of liquid, this unconventional mash has magnified the intensity of flavour-active acetate esters, ramping up the density of wort to astronomical levels. Woo! Bottled at 48.3%, it's a non-age statement and in ex-bourbon casks.
Yeah, I have to, before we go on the tasting notes, I have to say the last couple of releases from Ardbeg have been very nice. Because there was a time when I was like, oh, they were all just kind of a bit blah. The last few have been really good.
Well, that's exciting. They're often very pale in colour, right?
Yeah, it's really funny how they do. So even like older whiskies tend to be lighter colour.
Yeah.
I guess it's the ex-bourbon or refill, you know. But yeah, I didn't write anything about the colour because I totally forgot.
It's super duper pale, straw-like, Ardbeggy colour, I would say.
Yeah, smoky verse. Basically, I was getting butterscotch on the nose, some kiwi, ripe pineapple, peach, that sweet smoke, bit of moss, and kind of like, I don't know, do you know the Brazilian Bam Bam cream?
Oh, no, but I want to know it.
It smells so good. It's kind of like coconutty vanilla. There's something like it's kind of funky.
Is this cream you eat or you smooth on your body?
No, you smooth it on your body.
Very nice. I'm a bit jealous of your nosing notes because, well, I do have a slight cold. It's going away though, but I didn't get as much fruitiness. But I'm wondering if I'm not getting as much fruitiness in either dram as if it's my cold, but I'm not sure. At first, I got water from a rock pool, slightly herbal, like a very mild TCP. But then the sweetness I got was more like buttered toast sweetness as opposed to sugary sweetness. And then maybe some sort of like cheap patty out the little jars, you know, like paste. We used to have it in the 1980s and it would be like, I don't know what the hell it was, meat or fish paste, and you would put it on buttered toast. I was getting that on the nose. So yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, pretty different from you.
Yeah. And the palate, I think there's a lot of like that classic Ardbeg sweet smoke. Like I would definitely know that that's Ardbeg if it was a blind tasting. It's quite creamy. There's sweet licorice, muscovado sugar, some fennel or like caraway, slightly medicinal notes, and also like grapefruit peel. But I feel like the grapefruit was maybe getting more on the finish side.
Okay, nice. I got a wee bit fruit in the kind of palate, maybe but quite aware gooseberry jam, like charred burnt toast, that kind of smokiness, that bonfire smokiness, as if it's on your, you know how it lingers on your clothes, as if I was able to taste that on the palate.
Nice, yeah.
Citrusy tones, but definitely a creaminess. I agree with that. And I was thinking of peach melba dessert.
Oh.
So I thought it was quite sippable.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think the finish was slightly bitter, like that's why the fruit peel, and like it made me think of a little bit like some Amaros, so maybe something like wormwood or something similar.
Oh, I didn't find it as like the other drams in this tasting. I found kind of more heavier on the finish. I didn't have as much on the finish with the Ardbeg.
But yeah, very sippable, hey?
Yeah, nice.
Whisky Sisters.
Mac-Talla is the whiskey range from Morrison, one of Scotland's oldest whiskey families, and each Mac-Talla bottling takes inspiration from specific landscapes across Islay. Islay whiskies gain much of the unique character from the environment, and it's all these elements that Mac-Talla basically want to showcase through the whiskey range from Mara to Flora, all these other ones, which is nice. I quite like the idea of like one bottle is gonna aim for certain things.
Definitely. Morrison's connection with Islay has spanned across generations of whisky brokers, blenders, bottlers, and of course distillers. One of the preeminent whisky brokers of his era, William Walker's connection with Islay began through his close work with various distilleries on the island, even advocating on behalf of the Islay whisky trade to American businesses on the repeal of the US prohibition in 1933. Walker, understandably, who wouldn't, grew very fond of Islay, where he eventually purchased a home, and he played an integral part in developing transport, the trade and the marketing of the island's produce.
Yeah, well, here's a fun fact for you. William Walker was a passenger on the first commercial flight from Renfrew Airport to Islay on the 16th of May 1933, aboard a twin-winged, two-engined aircraft with a seating capacity for 7 passengers and crew of 2.
No way, that's very cool. Do you know Renfrew Airport is now Glasgow Airport? That's what it was originally called.
Oh, really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
So we followed in his footsteps when we took that tiny plane to Islay.
Yes.
No, we didn't go to Islay. We went to Campbelltown.
Yeah.
I'm talking nonsense. That's very cool though, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
back then in the day, you'd need to have a lot of
Oh,
faith, I think, to go in the air, wouldn't you?
I know. Even now. So if it's like then, it must have been much worse.
Yeah,
You
totally.
take life in your own hands now.
Totally. Stanley P. Morrison joined the firm of T. William Walker & Co. as a trainee whisky broker in the 30s, eventually marrying William Walker's daughter Elizabeth. Well, it might have been true love, but that sounds pretty strategic in my eyes, doesn't
Yeah.
it? The couple had 2 sons. In 1951, he became a broker and he was party to many large brokerage transactions with the major blending houses in the 50s and 60s until he passed away in 1971. And apparently in 1963, a chance lunchtime encounter at a Glasgow restaurant led to the agreement of the purchase of Islay's oldest distillery, Bowmore. You can just imagine that boozy lunch.
Yeah.
Getting big ideas and it all
I
coming
know.
together.
Writing a little contract on a napkin or something.
I know. I wonder what the restaurant was. I would like
Yeah.
to know.
It's funny you were saying about that couple, because my husband is always saying like, oh yeah, you planned, like you wanted to marry a Scottish person because you like Scotland and it gets you closer to all these whiskey distilleries.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like you, but Scottish, you see.
Yeah. It might be true, it might be.
That's it.
Maybe it was like,
little bit of strategy
yeah.
to help the true love along the way.
So Stanley's son, W. Brian Morrison, joined the family business in late 1964. Managing director for many years, he oversaw the company's increasing need to supply its blending and single malt business. The decades from the 80s onwards saw a transformation in the appreciation and demand for Islay single malts, so through domestic and international markets. And over time, Morrison Bowmore emerged as a globally recognized brand of quality single malt Scotch with some legendary bottlings. Morrison Bowmore Distillers was acquired by Suntory in 1994, and the latest chapter in their legacy, Morrison Scotch Whisky Distillers, is solely owned and led by Jamie and Brian Morrison, so still with the same family. Through Mac-Talla, the family are able to take you on a journey across the island, showcasing great variety and depth in taste. Quite a legacy and absolutely worth trying every single of their releases if you haven't already.
Absolutely. And this year's Fish Eel, how do you say that? Is that it? Fish? This year's Fish Eel
After a few
Festival.
whiskies.
Yeah, that's it. Sean Connery heading to Islay. Releases see bold Islay peat paired with rich Italian red wine. And the release went through an initial 18-month finishing period in 2 separate casks, first fill Amarone butt and partial refill European oak butt. They were then married and returned to Amarone cask for a further 6 months. Amarone della Valpolicella. I was trying to channel Inka there. Did I do well? Is one of Italy's most luxurious wines, known for its deep, dark cherry and chocolate notes. And it's bottled at a whopping 54.3% ABV.
I went to the launch of the whiskey actually in Edinburgh, and we had
Oh, very
pizza
nice.
with whiskey, which is fun.
Oh, that's fun.
And they actually used one of the whiskey releases. Which one was it? Mara, maybe? Can't remember. One of the core range releases they used to make an Aperol spritz, and it was really nice, actually.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it really worked.
I
Perfect summer
remember
whiskey drink.
I remember loving the Mac-Talla I've tried before. And I just
Mm.
thought it looks like Metallica as well in my when I read quickly. So I just love it.
Oh, for sure. More reason.
Color
So,
wise, what do we think? I think it's pinky orange.
yes, probably is it, would you say maybe the darkest of the
Yes.
bunch? Yeah. So nose. Oh my.
Well, it was permeating through my cold with no bother. It was giving life on the nose. I had to step away from it because I had other ones to taste and I didn't have that long to do it. On the nose, I had dark chocolate, cherry coke, popcorn, a grassy edge, hubba bubba bubble gum, macadamia nuts, juicy marzipan. It was giving me life
Mm.
on the nose.
Yeah, I feel like it really evolves. So yes, I literally wrote, "Oh my."
Oh, I'll sigh.
Yeah. Well, first of all, it sticks to the glass quite nicely as well, so there's a bit of body there.
Yep.
I was getting apple strudel with like
Oh, love that.
has like something on the top always, like what is it, like pine nuts or something on the top of the apple strudel as well. Sugary, kind of like, or just like apple, like caramelized apple, that's the word.
Mm-hmm.
Grilled pineapple, but still like juicy, but like that kind of grilled. Again, bringing out the
Mm.
sugars in the pineapple. Honey, chocolate, or Nutella filled pastry. Definitely kind of pastry thing going on here. Then I was getting dried fruits. It was kind of sweet. I don't know. It's just evolves. There's like a lot happening.
There's so much happening. I'm getting a lot of dried fruits on the nose as I'm
Mm.
smelling again now. It's bloody gorgeous on the nose.
Yeah, really is. It's definitely the best nose from. Oh, I
Best
don't know. I
nose.
did like the Ardbeg as well, but this one definitely got a more reaction from me. um, Okay, palette. Yes, lovely mouthfeel, which kind of was already the indication looking at the glass
Mm-hmm.
or initially. I was getting dark chocolate pudding, apricot, warming peat, icing sugar, and also just icing, cake icing. I don't know. What were you getting?
I got a delicious, plump, luxurious, dense, moist wedding cake with thick layer of marzipan, chocolate fondue chocolate, dried fruits, vanilla pod, a real creaminess, leatheriness. I was having like worn leather pouch, maybe like a leather tobacco pouch. Oh
Mm,
my God, I thought it was bloody
yeah,
delicious.
nice.
So nice.
Um,
Sorry, on you go.
Yeah, no, on the finish, I was getting gingery warmth and cooked orchard fruits. And then at the end, like it was really long finish, I think. And the last bit, I felt like I ate an ashtray.
Totally. I've got long finish and very charred driftwood. And it just was like, like a song that just has a note that just like, oh, and it just like lingers. And you think, whoa, how long is this going to go on? That's what the finish was like. Whoa. I think that the Mac-Talla Dram is a frickin' banger.
Yeah, it is. Although, like, I have to say, last year's release was the winner for me, that rum cask. And I don't even like rum finishes, but the Mac-Talla's rum one was amazing. If that's available anywhere, just get it. If you see it, just get it. But like, actually like this one as well.
Yeah,
This was my favorite of the three festival releases for sure.
for sure. By a long shot for me. Loved it. Sexy, sexy Mac-Talla.
Yeah, a huge fan. Actually, I also tried the Lighthouse release at the event, which was really good. And the Lighthouse project is basically guiding you on an individual taste journey across the flavors of Mac-Talla. And
Oh,
they've
nice.
joined forces with loads of like lighthouse partners that they call
Oh
them
my
in.
God, that's
Yeah.
cool.
So it's UK and Europe. So only those partners then have all these exclusive lighthouse bottlings. So it's
Hmm.
again something to just keep an eye on if you find find these anywhere. They're really nice and just something a bit different. Although I really enjoyed their core releases as well, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
You've been listening to the Whisky Sisters podcast.
Okay, but never fear. We will be here for you again next month. Not only will it be Inka and I, we will be bringing you special guest, Paul Main from Hunter Lang, no less. We will chat all things Ardnahoe and more. We've been meaning to get Paul on for a while. We've been meaning to snag him and lure him into our web for ages, haven't we, Inka?
I know. It's just always, he's a busy bee, him. But he will surprise us with some samples, so we'll see what we have. We have no
Show us the
idea.
whiskey, Paul.
Yeah. And I will be actually on holiday, so I'll be recording from France.
Ooh.
Everything
Hey,
goes
listeners,
okay
can
and
you
stuff.
imagine Inka on holiday in France trying to get a buyer for Maison Linetti?
Yeah.
I can see the scene in the various bars throughout France.
I know. I've actually hassled some people in Scotland already as well, but no one's replying to me.
Like, oh, busy. Inbox
Yeah.
full.
Oh, so anyway, meanwhile, you can follow us on Instagram at whiskysisters.podcast, X at Whisky Sisters, and Facebook at Whisky Sisters Podcast.
Love you, whiskey pals. Love you, Inka. See you next time, sugar.
See you next time. May your glass be full.
And your dram on fire. No.
Yeah, like a broth. Yeah.